Good afternoon and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch with my co-star, Veronique Arsenault. Good afternoon to everyone here in Miramichi. We have a beautiful, gorgeous day here. The sun is shining.
We'll take it.
Definitely. I feel like summer is finally here.
I know.
Took a little while. It was quite a bit of rain there. And
terrible.
But it was gorgeous. Gorgeous sunset last night.
Yes.
On
Well,
the river.
you know what? It was a nice enough weekend, and unfortunately Judy couldn't be with us. She's got too much going on. Her schedule's a little full.
I know what that's like because I've missed the last couple of Mondays myself with proms and graduations and having to work and get all those beautiful updos ready. Your days must have been quite full. They were. Yeah. They were. It's different when you have a salon full of teenagers.
I can't even imagine.
It's a whole other atmosphere, but everyone managed to get out the door on time and got where they needed to be, and everything went off without a hitch. So we managed to get her done. Get her done.
I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. But anyway, so Judy's off doing her thing, and you were off doing your thing, and I'm just here.
Yeah. We got a great show lined up, though, for our viewers today. And we're going to start off our day like we always do with a quote, something positive, and you've got something to share.
I do.
Okay.
So this one struck me.
Yes.
Right smack there.
Right between the eyes?
Right there. It's by Mark Twain.
Mark Twain, yes.
Yep. So the two most important days in your life are the day you're born.
Okay.
And the day you find out why.
So true.
I know. When you finally realize your passion and you know where you want to go and what you want to accomplish.
No, exactly. Yeah. I think for me it was I always felt for the longest time that there was something more, that because I was a stay-at-home mom with 4 kids for so long, and even though I enjoyed that, it was trying at times, of course, but but I always felt like I was supposed to be doing something more, that there was more to it than that. That I should be able to raise my family and still be able to do other things
and have it all.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Yeah, exactly. That's just it. So I love that saying.
Yeah, me too.
Definitely.
I think, and I mean, that's not to say that it won't evolve as you go through life. I mean, there are some phases in my life where there was real passion for some things, and I very happily did those things, and then those passions have changed and
that's right,
evolved since then.
Our needs and wants and everything, they do change, and we have to grow with that change.
Yes,
right. Because if not, I think that's when the struggles begin.
Yeah, you get a little stuck. I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there was lots going on. We've seen some movies between the two of us.
I know.
Recently, I went out to see Baywatch.
Giddy up.
It was actually really good, fun, laughable movie. I grew up watching Baywatch, so David Hasselhoff did a cameo, and so did Pamela Anderson, and it was really fun. It was some things were a little over the top, but I think overall it was good for a laugh. The bloopers at the end made it all worthwhile.
I'm sure.
They were. Yeah, lots of eye candy for everybody.
Giddy up. I love it.
So what movie you went off to see?
Well, I've been in this phase lately where I've been going to movies. So I went to see Transformers over the weekend. Okay. I've seen all of them.
Oh, you have seen them all?
I have seen them.
I think I've only seen the first one.
Oh, no, I'm a big, action, sci-fi.
You're kidding.
Oh, I love that stuff.
Oh, okay.
I didn't love it.
Oh, you didn't love this one?
I did not love it.
Oh, okay.
No. You know what? I found there was too much going on. Too many stories, too many characters.
Oh, really?
It was just really convoluted for me.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, I didn't love it, and I really wanted to because I really enjoyed.
Well, I mean, with the special effects and the sci-fi, I would imagine that part of the movie was
that
awesome.
part, that part is always. But there were so many different side things going on, and then I found it too much.
Well, talking about too much, we're going to start changing our conversation to everything that's happening here in Miramichi in the next weekend or two.
Yes.
If you're looking for something to do here in Miramichi, we have got so much going on.
You can't be bored.
No,
it's not
definitely
possible.
not. No, I'm I'm going to have to keep going back to my list. We want to mention that the play that's coming up, that's going to be at the end of June.
Yeah.
Mamma Mia.
Starts
production.
Starts Thursday.
Starts Thursday.
Yeah. Friday. Sorry.
Friday.
Sorry. My fault. Friday.
Friday. Yes. So that's a big production being put on by
Well, it's David Gopi and Candace Curtis, and I think there's somebody else, but it's in conjunction with the Rock and Roll Festival.
Right.
Yeah, and it's at James M. Hill Memorial High School, Friday until the 3rd of July.
Right, and our very own Judy Loge.
I can't wait.
I don't know even what character she's playing.
Tanya.
Do I know? Tanya.
So Tanya.
I've never seen the movie. I'm actually going to go watch the movie before I see the play.
She was a little, va-va-voom in the movie.
Oh,
she was a little, like in the Young Fellas.
A little hussy, kind of?
A little bit.
Oh, okay.
A little bit.
I definitely have to go see that now, for sure.
I can't wait.
So that's happening here in Miramichi. So we have the Rock and Roll Festival, obviously, that's coming up.
Yeah, that kicks off on Thursday.
Right.
And they're going to have their fireworks Thursday night for their opening night.
Right.
And they have so much going on during that weekend. I mean, I think it's the 23rd year.
They probably have a Facebook page or their website. Definitely go on to our viewers and check that out, because you're going to want to see all the different events that are going on. You're not going to want to miss anything.
No, it's really going to be a full slate of activity just for the rock and roll itself.
That's right.
That's not even anything else going on. So tomorrow, Tuesday the 27th, is National Multiculturalism Day.
That's right.
I know.
You're looking after that.
Yes, that is part of my thing. So I'm really excited because we're going to be at Waterford Green tomorrow.
Okay.
We're going to have a barbecue, and it's by donation, and the proceeds are going to go to the SPCA.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And there's going to be a little ceremony. There's actually going to be an unveiling of something special on Waterford Green tomorrow.
Really?
So we want to make sure that everybody comes on down.
Yes.
And it's going to happen at noon. The barbecue starts at 11, but we're going to have the unveiling at noon, and it goes right through till 1.
Okay.
I know. Well, you got to celebrate multiculturalism.
No, that's just it. Well, we just have so much of that diversity here in Miramichi now. So
60 countries represented in our community.
You're kidding?
Nope.
Wow.
I know.
Oh, my land.
I know.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So many.
I know.
So definitely an opportunity to come out and meet and find out who's all here.
That's exactly it.
Right?
We're looking forward to it. I mean,
Yes.
I always love Multiculturalism Day anyway, but
Yeah. And of course after that we have, now when is the Fisherman's Powwow? Is that this weekend as well?
It is.
Okay.
So Canada Day kicks off, of course, on Saturday.
Okay.
Right? And there's something going on around the river. So there's the flag raising with the Rock and Roll Festival for the Canada Day flag raising at 11 o'clock.
Because it's 150 years.
It is, and it's happening in the Newcastle Town Square. I shouldn't say Town Square, but Newcastle Square, Miramichi West. And then there's a cake cutting, and then the parade is, of course, right after that.
Right.
And then that starts at 1 o'clock. Then we're going to encourage everybody to head on over to the Historic Chatham Business District.
Right.
Because there's going to be circus performers. There's going to be an outdoor market.
Like buskers.
Yeah, like there's like flame throwing and aerial performers and all kinds of stuff. And then that from about 2:30 till about 5. And then there's a cultural village, and then the multicultural and cultural concert starts at 5. There's going to be a ceremonial smudging.
Outside?
Outside on Waterford Green, ceremonial smudging. And then there are 3 different acts happening. There's a Celtic, there's an Acadian, and then there's a Mi'kmaq in honor of the powwow. And then the powwow kicks into high gear on Sunday morning with the sunrise ceremony, and then the ships come in, and then there's the cultural village all day, and then there's so much going on.
Oh my land.
I know.
That's just it. All kinds to do.
I know. So Canada Day weekend, really, it's 150 years. You may as well do it upright.
Right.
So Saturday night, I didn't mention, and I really want everyone to know. So there's fireworks on Thursday night for the kickoff of
that the Rock and Roll Festival puts on.
And then for the first time, there's going to be fireworks from the Historic Chatham Business District on Canada Day.
That's fabulous.
I know, 10 o'clock.
Now, whereabouts are they setting all of that off? Is it at the Richie's, not Richie's,
Waterford Green.
At the Waterford Green down at it.
Well, you know what? We're back and forth, right, all day.
No, yeah, exactly.
I mean, and that's the thing. You can go back and forth across the river all day, which is going to be very exciting. So, they're actually going to be happening at Waterford Green. Yeah.
Well, with so much going on, the first thing that comes to mind, I want people, this Canada Day weekend, Rock and Roll Festival weekend and everything.
And powwow, yeah.
And powwow. Take your time. Like, as far as traffic goes, and we all know that the Centennial Bridge is one way. It's not a race.
No.
That one extra minute or 2 is not going to make a difference, do or die kind of thing. It's
just
could be
that.
Yeah, it could be. So, take your time, have patience, because there's going to be a lot of people out this weekend, a lot of traffic. So, just enjoy it. It's a holiday, you know,
and take the time and enjoy. Spend some time with your family. I mean, there's most of those things. I'd say 90% of those things that we just talked about are free.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So
exactly.
come out and enjoy it. Spend some time with the family, have some fun with the kids. There's something for everybody, really.
Yeah, exactly. That's just it. We wanted to bring up the parade that happened in Toronto, the Pride Parade. Now, you've got some details on that.
Well, it's the largest parade in Canada, the Pride Parade in Toronto, and it was the first time that all 4 levels of government were present. So, and I talk about the 4 levels of government in the Assembly of First Nations Chief, Perry Belgrade, was present.
Okay.
Prime Minister Trudeau was present. The Premier of the province, Kathleen Wynne, was there, and then the Mayor of the city as well, John Tory. Yeah, so they all, and it was the first time that all levels of government were present, and they had the trans parade, I believe, on Saturday, and then they had the general Pride Parade on Sunday. It was quite the thing.
It was.
Yeah, it was quite the thing.
And it went over really well without a hitch.
Yeah.
For the amount of crowd and people that they had
well,
down
can you
there.
imagine? Yeah. I mean, it would be amazing. But yeah, so it wound through the streets of Toronto, and it was quite quite the crew, I think, and probably quite a security nightmare, but they did well.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. The other thing that I happened to do this weekend, it was a graduation that I had scooted up to Moncton with family and things like that. And then this morning I want to mention that, because I've mentioned her before, my grandmother, who's 98, we moved her in with my dad last year. We had moved her in with a little bit of hunting and fishing around. I didn't realize all the different programs and things that are out there and available. I mean, she's pretty much been indoors all winter long, and so I feel like she was getting a little down and was, didn't really have anywhere to go or anything to do. So I was talking to a few people and started hearing about the different activities and programs that the senior citizens homes themselves put on for not just the residents. That that there's other people that can join in. They have like a daycare program and or an activity center kind of thing. So I managed to talk to her a few times about that, and it was a little sketchy trying to get her there this morning and have the bus come and everything else like that. But and then the fact that they have a relief bed, I didn't know that they had relief beds that could give my father a break for a week or two and things like that, because it can be so much work and just really weigh you down, and then his health will suffer, which is the other thing, because he himself is 75, and you know what I mean. It just shows what a great need there is for a new, bigger, more lovely. Seniors
and my
complex.
grandmother went to the Senior Day activity program as well at the Miramichi Senior Citizens Home, and they were phenomenal with her. Grandma at the time had dementia, and but like truly, like we used to get her up every morning. We were saying that she was going to school, right? Because she could relate to that, because she'd remembered going to school when she was a child. Right. And so, but like the things that they did together and the activities that they had, and the staff there was so amazing. Yeah.
Well, when I phoned and spoke to Patty Frazier, she just made me feel so much better, because I was like, well, I'm worried about getting her out the door, and I'm worried about her traveling on the bus that far, and just all the little, and she goes, oh, we know. We know that. And
they deal with it every day.
Yeah, exactly. That's just it. So I felt like I was actually sending one of my kids off to kindergarten, really. So I ran ahead of the bus and got there before the bus landed there, so that she'd have that familiar face, because she has a little bit of dementia, just the onset and stuff like that. So I'm never sure if she recognizes me at that moment in time when she does see me. And things like that, and has moments of clarity. So to go in, but I know that the first thing that was out of her mouth was like, I'm just visiting. Like the fear of that I was dropping her off and I wasn't coming back. I guess that never dawned on me that was something that they fear. Which to me, really, the place was beautiful. The staff is wonderful, and they're playing games. They had tea and coffee all set up for when they got there, and muffins and things like that. And so when I dropped her off and left, I was like, okay, I feel better. Now, exactly.
Yeah, and we went through the same thing with Grandma. I mean, it's been some years now since she passed, but we went through the same thing with Grandma, and I was living with Grandma at the time, so that was my thing. I was putting her on the bus to go to school before I went to teach, and so it was just like sending one of your kids off to school. But she loved it. It was so good for her, and that interaction, right? Like, we all need that human interaction.
Well, that's just it.
In this way, it's very controlled and very contained and very safe.
Yes, exactly. That's just it. It's such a fine line, I find, where, they feel like you're taking their independence away, but yet they feel like they can still look after themselves and do things, that they're not ready to admit that they need any assistance or help.
Oh, yeah.
And how you handle that and how you speak to them is so key, that they don't automatically become on the defensive, that, you know what I mean? So then everything's off the board. They don't want to do anything.
Yeah, we had some of that too.
Okay, that's not just.
Yeah, no, I mean, for Grandma, I always found that when she was most frustrated was when she was most aware.
Okay.
Right?
That's exactly what it is.
Because I'll never forget, and I'll tell the story. It was cute. But she wanted to go outside, and I wouldn't let her. Right? Because she wanted to go outside by herself, and I wouldn't let her. And we had her care worker with us as well, and we were in the kitchen. And so I stood in front of the door, because at that point, that's how, that was the only option we had. So anyway, she picked up her foot, and she was going to stomp on my foot.
Oh.
And so I moved it. And she was so frustrated. She said, "You put that back." And I said, "No." I said, "I'm not putting my foot back, Grandma." And she said, "Yes." She said, "I want to go outside." "Why won't you let me?" And but in that moment, she couldn't understand, right? Because she felt really good at that moment, and she knew who I was, and she knew that I moved my foot, and she wanted to stomp on it. Yeah. So, but that was when I realized that she was most aware of what was going on, and that was probably the toughest time.
It is,
right? Because but anyway, so.
You have to keep in mind but what's happening and what's going on is what's best for her, and it's the best care. Yeah. Like I say to my dad, staying at home with you, how do you know that you're giving her the better possible care that she could be getting?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he's not going to argue with her. He's like, "Oh, you don't want to get up, or you don't want to eat? Okay." And I'm like, no. Yeah, we're getting up, and we're going to have something to eat.
Let's go.
Exactly. That's just it. We have a great show lined up. We're just about to go to our first break. Yeah. But we want to mention Dawn Donovan's coming on next to join us.
And we're looking forward to that.
Yes, definitely. Very interesting. And then in the second part of our show, we will be talking to Joey Savoy.
Yeah.
Right?
Joey McDonald.
Joey McDonald. Pardon me. I'm like, wait. I know too many Joeys. That's what it is.
That's what's going on.
No, I'm known for getting people's names wrong. I don't know why they give me the earpiece.
That's all good.
That's just it. So we have more Have a Chat coming up right after the break. Don't go away. And we're back with more Have a Chat. Thanks for joining us. Up next, we have our first guest of the day, Dawn Donovan. Hello, Dawn.
Hi, Audrey.
How are you, sweetie?
Awesome, thank you.
An old high school friend, an old high school friend of mine, and you're here today, Dawn, to tell us mostly about your career and things like that. But first off, we want to start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you. Hi, Veronique.
Hi.
Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Awesome. Well, a little bit about myself. So I'm very happily married, mother of 3 children with 4 wonderful grandchildren, I guess is probably the most exciting part of my life. I have a wonderful group of friends, and I have an awesome career as a massage therapist. I work in an incredible wellness center. And life couldn't be better right now.
I want whatever you're drinking.
Whatever you're eating, whatever you're drinking, whatever
good.
you're doing, you must share. You must share your secret for sure.
Well, come to the Miramichi Naturopathic Health Center and we'll fix you up.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you
exactly. Go. So how did you come to be, because you're not what we call a true Miramichier.
Yes, she is.
You definitely are now.
I am. So I would be what they call a base brat.
I was too.
Okay, so
too.
Go base brats. And I guess the unique thing about my life being a base brat is that my mother was a Miramichier, or let's say an Eskumanacker. So when your father gets consecutive postings and it puts you through high school, then generally that place becomes home. So for me, I think that it was destined to be home. Although I've traveled all over the world and I've spent my life in many parts of Canada, I always come back to Miramichi. So I'll say that it's the roots, but it definitely is a big part of the people.
I am exactly the same.
Right.
I am exactly the same. Mom was from here and Dad was from Dieppe, so we came back every summer because my grandparents were here. Mom was a teacher, and then I finished high school here, so that was,
And once you finish high school here, those are your formative years. Your friends are here, all the fun was had, and you keep coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
I thank goodness that there was no Facebook when I was in high school.
No, there was no Facebook.
I thank goodness for that because I don't think it would have been pretty.
No, exactly. That's just it. That's a whole other show, an episode that we'll have to do someday for sure. But you're a registered massage therapist here in Miramichi, and I want you to walk us through because you have actually expanded and you have actually created something more than just registered massage therapist. You've taken on many different things. But first, what got you interested in that field of a career in the first place?
Well, it's a really interesting, loaded question.
Okay.
As a 30-year-old mom, I was thinking about going back to school, and I had my interest in theology. And I was going to go back and I was going to St. Thomas, actually, and I was going to study religious studies when a lady who was a very close friend and mentor said, by day, I'm a career counselor. I think you should come and talk to me because I have some ideas of what you might be well suited for.
Interesting.
Your kids are going to be graduating soon, and being a minister isn't really going to pay you a whole lot. That's really how that started.
Wow.
And so she did a little bit of a career analysis on me and said that I would be suited for what she thought was the healing arts. So I went and checked out this school at the time. It was Kinney Concept School of Massage Therapy and Research in Fredericton, and I was terrified. And I came home and said, there's no way I could study the science portion. And then on my second visit there, I had a feeling of an apparition of my grandmother being with me who says, Dawn, you can do this. And that really is what sparked my interest to continue on.
Wow.
I went for the intro courses and realized with a lot of good help from my family and 2 years away, because I couldn't really study at home raising kids, that it would work. And so I did follow through with that. And that's probably, just to add to your quote, that probably was my time of realizing this is my purpose. Right. I am going to work and I'm going to minister with my hands now. And I don't know how much you want me to go on, but I've had
that's amazing.
I've had quite an incredible career as a massage therapist for sure.
That's amazing.
After I became an RMT and I had a practice here, in 2005 I was asked to go and teach at a national college in Halifax. And I went on to teach as a lead instructor there. And after I finished, I guess, my first year, I was put up to the ranks of director of the college and really won the lottery for massage therapists because any courses that came into the school as a director of the college, I was privy to attend. So this would lead into what makes my career interesting. I went from massage therapy into all of the adjuncts that work with massage therapy, whether it be craniosacral therapy, whether it was manual lymphatic drainage, and all of the other terms that you might hear about in natural wellness. So it was kind of a lottery for me to be a director of this college.
It would be. Yeah.
As well, my daughter became a massage therapist as well because, I mean, there are certain perks to running a school. And my son could have had that as well, and he did not. But my world opened up as the director because I got to use my entrepreneurial skills, I got to use my counseling skills, and I really can't say enough about winning the lottery as a massage therapist.
That's amazing.
And it developed my courage to speak in front of people, and it taught me how to know what I know and to not be afraid to say I don't know something, I'll get back to you. And because I was so much of a go-getter, I positioned myself in places where I was part of the Guinness World Book of Records because I helped create a routine. I was the head of the coach. I was the head coach working with the curling, the Briar that was in Halifax. It was huge. I was so lucky to be part of that. I was part of working on a research project with Dalhousie University in addictions and got to do dissemination of findings in Seattle. Got to finish a business degree under an incredible mentor who was the executive director of my school. And then I came back to Miramichi.
I was like, so after all that, come back.
I know. So
and I came back.
That, what brought you here back?
Because I felt like coming back to Miramichi was a sure thing for me because I'd already left a thriving practice to go and do this. So I knew if I came back, I'd have my clientele. But more than anything, I came back with more tools in my toolbox. And it's always about trying to pick up more tools so that you can fix the existing people that you have now. So I came back with a big toolbox.
Wow.
Very lucky.
Yes.
And so how long have you been at the Miramichi Naturopathic Clinic?
We opened up the clinic on March 1st. Dr. Crystal Charest had a vision to have this building, and we both started off our careers way back in the early 2000s. We worked together for a short period of time, and we both said that at some point in our life we would get back together again, and so this was the year she built her clinic.
Yeah. It's a fantastic
It
building.
is. It's fantastic. It really does put Miramichi on the mark when it comes to natural wellness. We have 2 naturopathic doctors there now, with a 3rd on the way.
Wow.
We have 4 RMTs. We have a nurse practitioner. Miramichi really is on that mark now when it comes to naturopathic. So it is the place to be for a place like me.
Yeah,
exactly. Now, so you have your little spot within this facility, and what is it that you're offering right now specifically that you...
Well, like I'd mentioned, because I have so many tools in my toolbox, I find that what works for me is when people come in, I feel like I'm divinely guided. So if you come in with a particular ailment and I don't have that particular type of study, then that encourages me to go on and take new studies. So it would take me a long time to list off all of the credentials. But what I'm focusing on right now is spiritual wellness. I've come to understand that when people have great physical pain, that it's coming from a place that's been manifest long before the physical pain shows up. And it really turns out to be a spiritual exercise in self-discovery. So I have found that my practice leads me more into working on hands-on applied healing rather than always digging at people. I find that the more skilled you become and the more you're able to listen with your subtle heart, the more you can hear problems. And oftentimes, those problems are not really physical. They really are trying to help a person tweak themselves back into balance. So I do a lot of different forms of energy healing. It started years ago as, I'd say, Reiki. I spent some time in the jungle with shamans and worked on other aspects of healing, the non-physical self. And lately, the big buzz is with aromatherapy and essential oils. And this has been something that I've been working on for many years, but I decided to get serious because of the buzz and finish a diploma program in essential oils and aromatherapy. So I would hope by the fall I'm done that, because that seems to be the new area that people want to go into. They want scents and aromas, but we have to keep in mind that these things are also very powerful essences, and they're like medicine. And so working in the field that I'm working, I have to be very conscious of my scope of practice. So I'm going to finish that diploma program so I can get very deep into aromatherapy, because it seems to be people are looking at that right now.
Wow. So, okay. So now if I usually...
Does a scenario.
Yeah,
get ready.
Yeah,
here we go.
Okay. So I'm feeling like I need some help. So do I need a referral to you? Do I walk in off the street?
You know, we welcome you to walk off the street for sure. Everybody has if people have extended healthcare plans, generally what happens is that on a portion of a plan, if you call in the number, it'll tell you whether you have particular services. So most people have massage therapy under extended healthcare plans.
Right.
Some require a physician's note and some do not.
Okay. But to get to you, I don't have to have a referral.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Well, if you want to show me your Blue Cross card,
Yeah.
or whatever your coverage is. But no, and if you don't want to walk into the clinic, you just have to call the clinic and they can guide you in that direction.
Okay. Wow.
That's so much.
I know. There's there's so much going on there.
No, that's just it. Now, do you find with the aromatherapy, the first thing that pops in my head, because there's so many places, and I don't know if this even has anything to do with it, that they're scent free and you're not allowed to wear perfumes and you're not, and that I know that has to do with scent, but not necessarily aromatherapy, which is more therapeutic.
Right.
Do you find that there would be not a conflict of interest, but to be using such powerful aromas around a place that you're...
Well, I'll tell you, as far as all the Glade plugins, I hope we're getting to a point now with all of these scents that we're starting to see that everything is vibration, and so any scent that is in a room that is toxic is going to go through the trillions of cells that are in the body. So in our clinic, we're very conscious about people that have certain type of allergies, and so we don't blare our diffusers all the time. But if you came in and you had migraines or you had problems sleeping, and I knew that we were going to incorporate aroma as part of your therapy, I would put whatever the drops of oil is that your body is needing in a diffuser so that you are diffusing and taking the scents. But we just don't blow them through the clinic, just in case somebody came in and they had an anaphylactic to lavender, say, for example.
Just it.
That's right.
Do you, because I have this problem, do you see that, like, sleep is my major issue. Like I don't sleep through the night. I haven't for probably about 4 years now. Like, are you seeing a lot? And everybody I talk to, they're not sleeping well. Are you seeing that more and more?
I do. And so, of course, that's a big part of the work that I work on in energy healing. So if you came into me and you told me you would have problems sleeping, of course, we would find out more about you through health history. But I already have a pretty good background knowing that sleep disturbance is what we call root chakra, lower grounding aspects, and are usually related to really stress. You know, it's stress, but also I go through it too, but it doesn't have to be bad stress. It could be good stress.
Yes.
It could be excited about today's show.
Right.
So I mean, you stress, bad stress. So I mean, it very often is tied to people that have an overabundance of wanting, but not getting it done quick enough. So yes, through health history, I would know, and we would apply the right type of therapy to you to help you with sleep. But it doesn't always have to stay that way. You don't have to be sleepless.
Yeah, I'm not loving it.
There are ways.
I'll be honest.
You know, I'd have to say I don't sleep well either, but I think it's totally different. It's obvious.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like mine is more pain related.
Yes, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like I wake or I don't fall asleep because I feel like I'm in pain, where I feel like you would need to shut your brain off.
Yeah. And I know it. But my problem has never. I fall asleep without any problem, but I don't stay
You don't
asleep.
stay asleep.
No.
You
don't stay
You're
there.
busy, Veronique. You
I
have
am.
a lot you want to do in the world.
Yeah,
you know?
and I know mine has, like, you know, with it, I mean, we'll relate it to my business. So, you know, the running and the closing of my business has been the majority of my stress for the last 4 years.
Yes, for
so,
sure.
And I know that, but knowing it and fixing it are two different things.
That's
with me.
right.
Yeah.
But now Judy doesn't sleep very much either.
No,
So I
that's just
average
it.
about 4 hours of sleep a
Wow.
night, and Judy usually averages about 5 or 6. So.
Yeah.
You know, we'll text each other and say, "Are you asleep yet?" But
a lot.
but so many people that I talk to, you know, and my mom right now too is like, and Mom used to be a great sleeper. Like she would go to bed at like 8 o'clock and not get up till 6 the next morning.
Right.
But we're not, you know, she's not having that luxury right now. But you know.
Well, I mean, you know, there's a lot more going
Yes,
on
yeah,
than
yeah.
just what's inside of us.
Yeah.
There's what surrounds us.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, if you go to sleep and you have your cell phone on your bed, we know that that's radiating emissions that are around us. If you have a TV in your room, if you have children's pictures around, if you have books that all create a lot of energy and thought, those actually contribute to your space. People don't think of it that way, but it's true. What surrounds you is vibrating an emission that is affecting you somehow.
yeah. That's very
Yeah, because where you're sleeping is supposed to be free of
Oh,
clutter.
yes.
Generally for
and-
two things, generally. You know, is that room is generally, you know.
giddy up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
exactly.
no, and I know my space is not a good space.
And mindfulness and meditation is new, and people are starting to understand. But when people start to understand what mindfulness is, it doesn't mean you need 15 minutes of sitting in an phase. You could just have 5 minutes of just a conscious knowing that this is the space we're in right now, and that could deflate all of your stress. But unfortunately, we're getting there.
Yeah.
People are starting to learn these new
to
tools.
realize that there are benefits from that. That
That's
it's
right.
not just hocus pocus, that
That's
it's a
right.
real thing.
It is.
And you know, exactly. I've touched base with going to a few yoga classes.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get back to it yet. And at first I kept thinking, I'm not flexible like that. I can't touch my toes. And it doesn't have to do with just that.
No.
There was so much more benefit from that class than just being able to stretch.
That's right.
It was the, you know, the music and the calming of it all.
right.
That benefit is, to me, even outweighed everything else.
And the intention of you to do it remains. So, I mean, the
Yeah.
intention means so much more than what people realize.
How do we
Yeah.
get a hold of you?
Well, you call the clinic, Miramichi Naturopathic Health Clinic. It is, the number there is 773-3700. And I'm pretty sure that some of the wonderful receptionists that we have on staff will guide you right through it.
That's wonderful.
Exactly, that's just it. Now, so just touching back before we go to break, so we both have sleep issues. I know
Everybody
I'm going
out there's
back
got
again.
their own.
So you would go through like the history, and then you
Yes.
would decide with all your arsenal and
Yes.
toolbox what it is you're going to do as far as
That's
her
right.
therapy, correct?
It's
What
like
her
you-
prescription would
That's
be.
exactly what it is.
And
So
mine may be
my
different.
exactly. So your health history and our discussion will
Okay.
determine what it is that I think that you need.
That's
with all the
fantastic.
different things that are out there.
Yeah, and I mean, we get very stuck in, registered massage therapy, so I would think, well, that's all she does, and I don't need that part. But, to listen
That's right.
to listen to
Yeah,
all
I've been very fortunate. And you know what? I'm not the only one. Other RMTs branch out. I just know that I won the lottery because of my position at the college.
That's amazing.
No, that's just it.
And I'm a
That's
non-stop study.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly. And I think that's key in your career,
I
and
am.
even in my kind of career, to stay on top of it, because you would have people coming in going, well, I heard of this type
That's
of therapy or that type of therapy, and do you do that or offer that and things like that. So you have to stay on top of all of that.
You definitely
right?
do, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we want to say thank you to
Thank you.
Dawn for joining us
Thank you,
today
ladies.
and filling us all in on everything else like that. Now, the name of the, why do I not, what is the Crystal, Dr. Crystal?
Dr. Crystal
Yes.
Charest, Dr. Angela Berry, yes. then
Right
we
there,
have-
but the name of the building.
Miramichi Naturopathic Clinic.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
I'm terrible.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just it. So you can definitely check them out. If you have any questions or you're looking for any information, you can check our Have a Chat page too on Facebook. We'll have a little video of that later on. You'll be able to check out the show. And up next, we're going to be having Joey McDonald, who's the store manager at Sobey's, joining us up next. So you're not going to want to miss that part of the show either. He's going to be talking to us about so many different programs going over there. It's not
But that's
just
the amazing
your local.
part.
Yeah, it's
Everybody's
not
got
just
so much going on.
yeah,
It is.
exactly.
Love it.
That's just it. We're not going to want
Awesome.
to miss any of it. And we just want to mention too that next week's show
Yeah.
is going to be pre-taped, so you're going to want to catch that. It's all on the tall ships. Okay, so we'll be right back right after the break with more Have a Chat. Don't go away. Welcome back to more Have a Chat. Up next, we have our second guest joining us now. We have Joey McDonald. Hello, Joey.
Good morning.
She got it
Good
right this
afternoon.
time.
You did too.
did.
Yeah, what did you call
I
me
did.
earlier?
Joey Savoy.
Savoy, I don't know why, yeah. Well, he's my
I've been
neighbor.
called, I've been
He
called a
was
lot of things, but
Well, you know what? Take it.
No, exactly.
I'm sure
good.
Joey is a fabulous person.
Yes, he is.
Well,
Yes,
there
he
you go.
is, for sure.
that's right.
He lives next door to me, so hey,
Well, obviously.
it's all good.
How could you not be
You
that?
can't pick your neighbors.
That's true. You're right.
We want to thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You are the store manager at Sobey's, Douglastown,
Yes.
and we're going to be talking about so much. I mean, because
We
it's
are.
not your average grocery
You got too
store
much going on
anymore,
there.
Well,
right?
I'm following a hard act.
I listen to you almost
I am.
every morning on the radio with
Yeah.
Ann and Michelle.
Oh, yeah.
That
Yes.
alone is a whole
I got a
other
great face
show.
for radio, they tell me.
I've heard that once or twice.
Yeah.
Myself.
Tell us a little bit, because not that somebody might not know who you are, but there's possible that we have so many viewers now. There's someone who
That's
doesn't.
right.
So
I am
tell
Joey
us a little
McDonald.
bit.
I am from PEI. I am not from Miramichi, but
Oh.
I consider myself a Miramichier because
Yes.
I've been here for over 20 years.
Oh, well,
see,
there you
and
go.
We like that.
I've
Yeah.
been offered many positions away from Miramichi, which I turned down because
really?
I love the Miramichi, and it's the people are great. And I always say from the time I got here that no one gives more than Miramichi. If someone's having, and you know, there's a commercial on there about they're number one for hoot nannies.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a hoot nanny until I moved to Miramichi.
You,
Oh, really?
And you're funny because when it's true because when I moved home 11 years ago, I had never heard of a hootenanny either, and I was like, but they're every weekend.
Oh, every week. Well, there's 3 or 4 a weekend.
Yeah.
And
just
it's
one.
No.
and you know it goes right down to a nonprofit organization coming into our store to pack. Is they leave there with over $1,000, and that's just amazing how groceries are expensive, and then they go in, and then at the end of the cash you see it's neighbors, and they're
Yeah.
it's a community.
I'm not
helping
going
the
to
community.
disagree with you there.
I almost knocked
Groceries
that
are
over.
expensive.
Well, that's okay. You would have been a little bit wet,
Yes.
but it would have been okay.
That's right. Anyway,
So we're going to get down to everything that's happening over there at Sobey's. There's so much that's going on.
There
Can you
is.
tell us, where do you want to start with all of that?
well, I want to start. I was just doing some quick math today. We've got over 250 years of experience with just our management team. We've got 145 employees.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
That's a huge store.
It is, yeah. It's,
It is.
And it's, you know, the bridge and you know, different competition in the areas kind of, you know, changed the playing field, we'll say.
True. Competition can be good.
But one thing I can say, I've started working for Sobey's back when I was 15 years old, still in school. So I worked my way up through the things. I took positions in Camelton, then Bathurst, then Camelton, and moved here. And don't want to leave. I'm going to retire here and have a, you know, happy life, I guess.
Yes.
Anyway, the one thing I can say about Sobey's is its community. One thing they're huge on is community, and they're the biggest supporter of Atlantic-grown products in Atlantic Canada. So, and also they encourage us to get out into the community and our staff to do the same.
It was a family-started business, correct?
Yes, it was. Yep. Yep. 110 years old this year.
That's amazing.
Oh, my
They're
Yes.
celebrating. Canada's celebrating 150. They're celebrating 110.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
it's quite a story. It really is quite a story. Quite a success story.
well, and there's very little that we don't see Joey supporting, you know, as a
No,
store and with
exactly.
the staff and everything. So it's thank you.
I can honestly say I got the best staff. They make my job a lot easier. They really
for
do.
sure.
They do.
That would definitely.
You know, right down to the person that works 5 hours a week. I mean, they make it happen every day.
Well, and people forget, you know, and I was just talking about it on Friday. I was teaching a customer service class, and, you know, everybody
Customer
knows you.
service class.
Yeah, I was. I was teaching that. But everybody knows you, and that's wonderful. But you know what? It's the frontline staff every day that touches, you know, 99% of that customer experience.
Absolutely.
Right? You're the icing on the cake when you get to wander by and say hi. But
Yeah.
it's really that frontline. They are the face of your business every day.
Absolutely. And you know, it's funny they say, well, you know, you're just a cashier at Sobeys, but I'll tell you,
Yep.
just a cashier at Sobeys. I mean, they
true.
make Sobeys who they are.
They're the
every day.
reason why they come back.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I agree.
And
Customer
it's
service, number one.
it's a joy when you hear the good, and it's also a joy when you hear the bad, because all that does is just improve our business.
You can fix
Yeah,
it.
it gives
Yeah,
you
it
a
does.
chance
Yeah.
to make it better.
Absolutely.
Right?
So tell us a little bit about the community room.
The community room, it is a room down in the corner. It's nice. It's basically anyone in the community can use it free of charge, and we're lucky to have one of the busiest community rooms in the in the Sobey's chain. So it's very well done, and it says a lot for the community, because the community's so tight knit that, you know, word of mouth, and you know, you can phone up and use our room absolutely free. We do have cooking classes in it. We have 2 healthy and 2 regular cooking classes. Brian Matheson
Yes,
is
he was on
chef.
a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's a great guy. And if you haven't been to one of our you know, cooking classes, should take, because it's actually like a 3 or 4 course meal, and he teaches you how to
Nice.
do it, and you watch him do it, and you get to
And
try
it'd
the
be
food
so
after.
tasty.
It would be.
It would be so tasty.
And you know what the best part of being the store manager is? After the class, you
Oh.
open the fridge, and there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
You get to try the
I
tasty.
do, yeah. And I actually take some recipes home, and you know, my wife is she's a foodie. She likes to try different things. So I mean, it's
Who sets up the menus now for what the cooking class is going to be? Is it desserts? Is it dinner? Is it? or it
you
can
know what?
be-
It's done through the office. It's done through the chef group, but it's based on, you know, what's going on. If it's strawberry season, they have
Oh,
strawberries.
okay.
If it's,
That makes
you know,
sense.
if it's seafood, they
Seasonal.
have seafood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's right.
wonderful.
That makes
And
perfect
actually,
sense.
we did have barbecued cooking classes as well. We had it right out in front of the store.
Oh,
It was kind of something we
nice.
tried, and
Oh,
it was good.
Yum.
it would be.
I
It
know.
And
would
you know
be.
what?
Because it's tricky. The barbecuing is a different thing altogether. The heat and
People
everything.
think they know how to barbecue, and you know what?
You slap it on the grill and off
No,
you go.
no, actually, you know
Close the
what?
lid and you open it and it's ta-da!
Yeah.
No.
Well, you know what, and it's funny, we had, you know, we had prime rib, and I was talking about it earlier, we had prime rib on sale last week, and a gentleman came in and said, how do you cook it? And that's another good thing
Yeah.
about the staff in Sobeys, is that you can ask one of our staff, and they'll actually
That's
give
right.
you some tips about cooking it. So the guy said, well, what should I marinate this prime rib steak with? And me and the meat guy were there, we were going, oh, you don't do that. You don't do that with a
That would-
prime rib.
No.
So
Yes.
we had a little chuckle, and he went, and hopefully he enjoyed his steak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just it. Now tell me about. There's a big red chair.
Yes, the big red chair is something that Sobeys are, you know, celebrating the 150 for, and also their 110. The chair was built with people with people with disabilities. And what we're going to do is every store in Atlantic Canada's got one. And we're going to take it through the community, which I did on the weekend. I took it to the Rock and Run, and we don't want to talk anymore about that.
There was an incident.
There was an incident.
It'll make a reappearance.
There was an email, and then the incident, and you should read your emails.
Yes.
So anyway.
That is the lesson that happened over the weekend.
It is, yeah. That's a life lesson.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
and what we're doing is we're taking it out into the community. It's in the front of the store now, so what you can do is...
So you're going to go to different events that are happening throughout the city?
Actually, I've got some young girls at our high school students that are going to take it around. We're going to call them the Chair Share Gang. Anyway, they're going to take it, and what you do is you take a picture and you hashtag Chair Share. I finally found out what a hashtag was.
See, you learn something new every day.
I do, yeah.
I'm still learning it.
Yes, and
I hashtag a lot.
you get the chance to win a free groceries for a year.
Ooh.
And nice is right.
Very nice.
And at the end of it, which is the good thing, we're going to auction it off to the highest bidder, and 100% of the proceeds goes back into the community as a...
You're auctioning off the chair.
Yes.
Right?
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a great promotion.
And we're going to bring it to a nonprofit organization going to get the money for it.
Now, how long is it the chair is going to be around, and when are we doing the draw?
Thank you.
Oh, I'm like, okay, so...
No, it's probably the end of August sometime.
Oh,
around
okay.
there. Like it's all summer long.
It's for the summer. Okay,
yes.
this is a summer thing.
Yes, it
okay.
is,
I was like, when can I expect my free groceries?
Well, you got to get your picture taken on it and tell us why.
Is there anything against how many times I can follow the chair around and get my picture taken?
All of a sudden you'll see Audrey at everything.
I think there is.
Really?
Yes,
okay.
I think there is. Yeah.
Thought I had a loophole there.
No, but not. Well, you could probably go here, and then you got two chances because Liz got one too.
Oh.
The Newcastle
Oh,
store's got
okay,
one.
yeah, because we have two Sobeys.
That's right.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
Definitely.
so was it this year that something a little bit different for New Brunswick started with the wines in the grocery store?
Yes.
It was
We were actually the first Sobey store to have wine in the store as a pilot.
Really?
Yeah, we were.
Really?
Okay.
In Miramichi here, it was great.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yes.
Well, had other provinces done it, and it just wasn't in New Brunswick, or
There, Quebec does. Quebec sells
Okay.
wine and beer in their
stores. Yeah.
in their stores,
Oh,
in their
okay.
grocery stores, but also in they've sold it forever in their
little
corner
convenience
stores.
stores?
We were the only Sobey store, but there was other stores that were were involved with the
introduced it.
pilot. So
Oh, okay.
right now, every store in New Brunswick's got wine in it.
Wonderful.
That's right. Now, do you have someone who knows anything about wines? If someone went in there and was asking, just because
Well,
wine can be a
you know
tricky thing, like.
We do have wine pairing sheets that
Oh,
we do.
you do?
Yes,
Okay.
that we do, and it is new to the grocery industry. So
Yeah.
you know what, we have cheese ambassadors. So now we're going to have we'll probably have wine ambassadors. You know.
Yeah, I would
It's,
think.
yeah.
If anybody, like usually I go in and I just go to what I know,
Mm-hmm.
but if I had any questions, I wouldn't be sure that someone in a
Ask.
grocery store would.
Oh yeah.
But that's good
See,
to know
and
as well.
I didn't realize there was a sweetness to wine until we got it in the store.
Right.
So it's all.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I just if I tried it, I liked it. If I didn't, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's actually numbers, 0,
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Yes,
yes, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So-
Okay, I'm
Joey
a few
knows
steps
that
ahead of you.
Yes.
I do know that part.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Now, we're seeing more and more kind of an explosion of food sensitivities and food preferences, and you must get that often, like the gluten-free and the celiac.
Celiac.
You know, it was funny. I remember back in PEI when I was working in the store, if like a new doctor came to town, you would know if there was a new doctor because you'd say, you got to try Basel, and then
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and it's funny, but the gluten-free, yes, we got a big section in the store,
Yeah.
Natural Source, and Helen there. If there's anything you're looking for, just ask for Helen, and she's really good at sourcing out the products and getting them in. But it is huge.
Yeah.
It really is huge.
It's interesting because a friend of mine is gluten sensitive, and probably about 7 or 8 years ago when she was first kind of diagnosed with it, it was really tough to go out to eat with her or to go to the grocery store. She had to go actually to Moncton to get or I'd bring it actually back from the States. But now, I mean, every aisle has something,
Yes.
and there's a huge section.
Yeah, we have its own unique section,
Yeah.
and we're looking at actually expanding it because it's
Really?
it's growing that fast.
Yeah.
It
That's
really
just
is.
it.
Yeah.
Well, with me doing the ketogenic thing, I am finding it harder too because I'm not doing. It sounds very similar to gluten, but it's not just. It's bread, rice, what did I say, potatoes and pasta. So, but the thing is what I'm finding is I can go to Sobey's and I can find the ingredients I need to create something I can have. Even though you might not have a type of bread actually made there, I can find the ingredients that allow me to make it myself, which is a great alternative as well.
And we do have a dietitian in the store that's is free of charge.
Really?
So if you've got any questions, you can call her up and book an appointment.
She's like,
label tours and like
you know,
any special diets or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when it comes to reading labels. That is exhausting. That's
Sobey's
overwhelming.
Sobey's actually, you know, they're focused on food. I mean, and they really know the importance of, you know, when somebody comes into the store, they have a question that they truly want us to answer it.
Right.
And if we can't find the answer, we'll get back to you with the answer. So.
Well, that's the tough part, right? I mean, it's so confusing nowadays with the labels and, you know, what you should be eating, what you shouldn't be eating, and even, you know, we've had registered dietitians on the show and stuff, and like there's so much going on, you know. So like to know that there is, you know, some help when I go to the store.
We actually start our meetings out with food shares, and the last meeting we were at, we had a food share on Skittles.
Really?
Google how Skittles are made.
Oh. I probably don't want to know.
No, you don't.
Okay.
No, you really don't.
I'll have to check that out later.
No, you don't. Anyway, it was kind of done in fun, but it's
exactly
who thought of it? Anyway, who thought of it?
And that I ask myself that often when you just wonder how these things all came to be, but you also do some catering, like trays and things like that, like sandwich trays.
That's a whole other world too.
It is a whole other, and it's huge. Graduation is huge. So you know, we do different things with you know, our bakery department was busy last week doing graduation cake. So if you got an image, we got an image machine that you can, you know, send your favorite someone's picture, and we can put it right on a cake, and it's made to order. So if you phone it in this morning, they'll make it in the afternoon.
I want to give kudos too, because I've had this happen to me a couple of times. Their bakery department, those girls, and they're fantastic. I've gone in there, and whether a mistake was made or I forgot something and this and that, and I'm stuck, or I'm stuck and I can talk to Sandy or whoever, and then she's like, we can, you know, they have suggestions right there, and they can. I've never walked away empty-handed, having. Seriously, it's amazing. They're fabulous in there.
And people may or may not know, but it's a scratch bake. Like we're one of the only ones that kept that, and the reason they do that is because Sobeys are about food, and they're really, you know, conscious on taste. So everything's scratch baked every night, and it's guaranteed fresher. It's free.
That's amazing.
Also, our trays. You were talking about our trays.
Yeah.
Yes.
The deli department, I mean, they make some really nice trays, and
they're beautiful to look at.
Well, I've gotten from you often. So
actually, right now we got the Canadian flag, or the maple leaf trays. They're selling like. Anyway, graduation's quick and easy, right?
No, exactly. That's just it.
Usually it's me that I forgot to make something.
No, exactly. No. Well, you're definitely, to all our viewers, you're going to have to check out Sobey's in Douglastown, especially with Canada Day coming up. Right. You'll be able to help everybody with their barbecue needs and dinner and lunch and all all of that.
Yes.
And we want to thank you so much for coming on the show today and telling us all about what's happening over there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I love their community room. I've used it for a few times.
Have you? Yeah, exactly. We'll have to sign up for a cooking show. Can we do like a live show from the cooking class?
There we go.
I think that would be
that'll be our next hit. I can't cook, but okay.
That might put us on the map.
That would be awesome.
For sure. Don't forget, you can check us out on Facebook. We have our own Have a Chat Facebook page. And if you missed this episode or would like to see other episodes that we've done here at Have a Chat, you can go onto YouTube and watch us live. Or
we usually we upload it usually by Wednesday, and then we share it on our Facebook page. So we're all over the place.
Yeah, so we're international. So thank you again for joining us here at Have a Chat. We'll see you again next week. Bye for now.